I got a special cup for you guys.
You guys show it to him. How you guys like that?
I forget where we got that
refreshing,
at. Refreshing,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Very refreshing.
Goes with the last week's finger. So.
And we already got the finger by someone.
Good.
So it was very nice. Who was it by? Oh.
Now, how come this one shows no thumbs down, but we had them earlier?
I think it was Laska.
That makes no sense.
I have no idea.
Look at that. We're just now showing up on the screen there.
With your finger.
Yeah. That's kind of weird.
Oh, yeah. Laska Hvacr said, hey, guys.
Now, I kind of wonder if you're going to let that, because you don't have to let that thing play to let the,
right.
yeah, there we go, a little bandwidth saved. Got like 110, 120 down, but the up is only around 11 meg. So
we had 7 ups before we even, like thumbs up before we even
we got
went
61
live.
people out there, but we only have a total of 37 likes. We're going through high water here to make this stupid thing better.
So do you need to talk about your limp meat and your hard meat from the video? Have you guys seen that? It's quite entertaining.
I would hope they've seen it by now.
Do EXT...
And you notice I used one finger to touch the meat. So if I was groping it, you guys need to be worried. But that was one finger onto a piece of plastic that I was not contaminating the food. I was just touching it to see how frozen it was. And that kind of tells me whether or not they've been down for a long time or not. Ice cream is going to soften up, and generally when ice cream is softened and then goes to reharden, it'll get hard again.
Doesn't it form?
And I'm right in the middle of my story. You're so much interrupting.
Look.
LASIK. Is that LASIK?
No, it's Laska.
Sweetness, man. Thank
you,
you.
Laska. That was so sweet of you.
You should see a little icon thingamajig. Did it come on here in a second?
It's going to. Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's a hellacious delay.
I know. I don't know why.
I'm not impressed.
But
it showed the cash register thing right away.
Yeah, so maybe we
or heard it anyhow. Maybe it's just like everything else that don't work right.
Damn thing's busted.
I think we just need to not bring nobody else in. We just need our own little thing here.
Ooh, Nate said his mom pokes holes in meat at stores. So gross.
Yeah.
That's kind of odd.
Yeah, I can see that.
It happens though.
Yeah, there's all kinds of people playing with your meat before you eat it. So, you know, you'd be surprised. But if you notice, they kept good practices in there. I eat in that restaurant quite often. And although, you know, it ain't the newest looking cooler in the world, I trust their food. They do good practices. They keep everything nice and tidy. I don't see anything on the floor. Everything's wrapped like it's supposed to for the most part, you know, unless it's getting yanked right back out, even though it should be no matter what. Bill
wants to know if you want him to show you some mugs.
Yeah, mugs. Yeah. Yep.
Email those to him.
Yeah, there was some other ones that we got that were kind of vulgar of some sorts.
I don't know where you got that mug from.
I would say it was probably from one of my sisters because they were the ones that had the other F stuff.
No, that was your nephew. I'm going to laugh every time I see that, guys. I can't help it.
Of course, I'll run out of water before long on that.
We got more bottles back there. Pepsi says he likes the room.
Do you? That's using the orange light for the occasion there. So we end up bringing the front lights up just a little bit. So you notice there's a little more light on her face there. I'm a little more tan than she is, so mine absorbs it.
I'm just transparent.
Yeah. And so we did the sherbet ice cream kind of back there, rainbow sherbet. Got a little orange for the holiday, even though we're a day off from that, and then the red there. Really wanted the purple, so even got our hair light back there kind of working. If you notice, shelf changed a little bit too. That's 3/4 inch black iron pipe from a store, so it's not true like grade plumbing, but got that put up there, so that's kind of neat. And there's some other things we want to do yet, but that was done earlier. Instead of testing the program to make sure everything works, we were doing that stuff. JD in the house.
Wow, thanks, JD. Do some tool reviews?
Tool reviews?
That's a good idea. You've done a couple.
Well, I need to do, and I was supposed to do it on Friday.
Ooh, you could bring your crimpers.
But instead, I've been like trying to crank out 2 videos over the weekend. And it kind of seemed like last week that most of the views happened on Saturday. So
thanks, JD.
So I am going to be doing the one on the DTEC Stratus and DTEC 3. I've got honest review on it because I know there's been a lot of talk about the sensitivity versus the H10. Originally, I was asked to kind of focus on their product more than just, talking about the H10, which I have a video and it shows the H10 beating it on a 35-pound pressurized reach-in cooler on R134A, but at 35 pounds. So the heated diode is...
What? Shut
holy
up,
cow.
Brian.
Hughes, man, holy crap, dude. You don't need to do that. Thank you, though.
You guys, that's really nice.
The,
And see, there's the...
It does show up down there.
Yeah, it does. It should show up at least.
Yep, through.
Thank
Boom.
you.
Boom. Don't forget to hit that like button, even though it's been a horrible start. I don't deserve a like. I honestly don't. I'm sorry about that.
X-Ray Bravo, who are you talking about? I don't understand. Are you talking about me?
But on that DTEC, I am going to show them, and I honestly can recommend the DTEC 3. I checked the pricing on it, and on TrueTech Tools, they are right now at the same price as what the Select is, and the Select obviously is going away. The sensitivity is stronger. The battery life's better. A matter of fact, the DTEC 3 and the Stratus have identical specs. I mean, 0.03 ounces on maximum sensitivity, and the CO2, which none of the other ones can do, it's 0.07 ounces, which we know that there's no way in the world it really finds 0.03 ounces. But battery life at 10 hours, I mean, that's how I'm going to classify things. I'm kind of spoil it a little bit, but on that review, I'm going to go over what makes a good detector a great detector. It's not always necessarily the best sensitivity, because if you don't like using it, or if it's always a pain in the butt, or if it's always dead, or if it can't reach into the spot, is it really the best detector just because it's a little bit more sensitive? Only on certain refrigerants too, because that's the other thing you got to look out for. As you can tell, I am a total geek on leak detection. And the heated diode's a chemical sensor, and it will lose sensitivity on different refrigerants at different times, and you don't know which one you're losing. So you get some really strong hits on R22, you're going to start losing some sensitivity on possibly 410 or one of the other blends. So, just so happens on that 134A, it happened to get it, but I'm going to do my tabletop, and then I'm going to show some examples of it in action. I was in a cooler on one day last week, and it was overly saturated with refrigerant, and I used the cloud hunting mode. And it did pretty good, but it was so contaminated that even when it was trying to pull it out of the handle to do reference points, it still got confused. But it was extremely over flooded. So we'll talk about that stuff later.
So Nate Peterson, he wants to know, can you make a crane that sits on a rooftop with pulleys? That's a lot.
So are you using the rooftop as your base to hold it? Or are you like putting legs on the outside of it? I've seen that been done before with some big old monster moon tires. And it looked like, if you ever seen those railroad
like
tracks where they like have this big crane mechanism that kind of lifts it up and then drags it, whatever. I've seen them do that before, but you're talking mega bucks. But, there's a reason why, on some of these jobs, you just get a freaking crane. They have to carry the insurance. That way they drop it, it's on them. They damage the building, they crush somebody and kill them. It's all on them. So, it ain't worth it. On a big job like that, nah, pay somebody to do it. But, a little compressor, I don't see a problem using it for that. And, I haven't used that thing since that video I made. So, the thing sets in the barn until I need it. So, I don't even carry it with me.
Pugsley was sticking his tongue out and licking the air. It was funny. All you saw was a pink tongue going by.
I'm surprised she's over there sleeping. So
I know she's being good. Yeah, some of the guys are saying when you're talking about the leak detector, Alexander said it works.
Which one?
On 404A, that it does wonders on it.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I had like when I played with the TIFF CX, that thing did awesome on 404 and 22, but it wasn't very good on 34A. And that's the problem with the heated diodes. They have hot spots and spots where they're not good. And then the biggest thing is that wand. I don't care. The wand is a big thing. It's huge.
Our friend Pepsi wants to know, what's the biggest refrigeration unit you have worked on?
Let me think here. I would say the grocery stores probably would be a good portion of it because, I mean, we're talking multitudes of compressors on the rack. So we're talking possibly 5 to 7 compressors. And I forget how many horses they are. I think there may be 20. I don't know. I forget. I'm not really sure. I'm still learning on that stuff. I don't know all of it as well as I need to yet, but I'm still learning on that stuff. I mean, I don't work on it much during the day, mainly on just overtime or on overtime when I'm on call. So, yeah.
Oh, I like that Wild West HVAC. That's a cute name. Okay, so Nate said something for the small, heavy stuff, not for the whole unit.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, the original reason for that, hey, GD, thank you, man. Original reason for that thing was just lifting compressors up. I mean, when you have just a medium-sized compressor, it doesn't even have to be that heavy. I mean, you can carry it by your tote, and, you know, if it only weighs, I don't know, 35 pounds, 65 pounds, it ain't very heavy until you start trying to pull it up a rope. And that really, it's kind of more difficult by far. Hey, we're in the yellow. We're fine.
Someone asked if you have worked on any VariFlow fan controllers from Larkin. These standalone speed controllers for ECM motor exhaust fans, 0 to 10 volt control.
I don't think we have any Larkin stuff at all around here. We don't really have much Daikin either. There's some of these schools, they hire these out of area contractors to put that stuff in. So not too much. I mean, we have a controls department that does a lot with that stuff.
That scared me.
Yeah, it was kind of loud. Controls department, they do a lot of that stuff. So, I mean, the one guy that I work with, he was mainly a tech guy until he ended up hurting himself. And so if I have any of those questions, I mean, he's awesome to get a hold of, and he'll walk me through those things.
So this is a good one Shannon brings up. Has anybody ever worked in a basement or an attic of an old house that you thought might be haunted and somebody was watching you? Now, let me tell you guys, I can get the creepy crawly sometimes, and I can feel like there's, Satan's little friends hanging out. So I would think that would be pretty possible. Depends on how sensitive you are to those things.
Her brain issues give her special things. We went through, I won't forget, we were coming back from Columbus. And this ain't a very funny story because it's kind of serious, but we were coming back through Columbus, from Columbus, and there was a motorcycle accident and the guy was killed. And she felt the shivers as she went through there. We didn't know that the guy had died until we got home and seen the news report, but she could feel something had happened, which is really weird. So I'm not saying we're a bunch of weirdos, but
I'm a weirdo.
She's weird. So that brain thing, some weird sixth sense.
Shannon, and they say that kids are especially sensitive to that kind of thing. Whether they, can see them or hear them or both. But I hear of that a lot where little kids will refer to a ghost as their friend. And it always makes me wonder, I don't think they're good ghosts. They may seem like it, but I don't think they are.
We're going to take this into a religious channel, and I don't think they want to hear about that.
That's why I stopped.
That's why we just don't talk about that stuff.
So Shannon, it's all your fault.
It's all his fault. It's all his fault, guys.
But you guys have given me the creepy crawlies, so thanks, Shannon.
Yeah. Questions. Give me all your questions. Give me something to talk about here. Because every time I start talking about something, she interrupts me and just totally screws it all up.
One of the guys, it was Shannon that's made comments about how appropriate your roll-in cooler was this week. And I said that was not like time to release. Like that was a legit call you got this past week.
I was trying to get out of it because he called me or texted me and asked me what our phone number was. And I know one of our other guys had gone there before. And I've worked in actual funeral homes where they do cremation services and things like that. And the one I was on was a walk-in cooler, and they literally had 1 or 2 bodies in the cooler with me. And it was this summer, and it was warm, and they stunk. The one had been missing for a while, so he decayed a little bit, so it was pretty bad. And the other 2 or so were out there in the parking area, which this cooler's inside their like garage where they store their cars at. So That kind of wasn't, the smell bothered me more than anything because they're in a box, cardboard box. And so I'm not going to look, and you got to be respectful and stuff. And that's why I would never show, and I did not show anything in that situation there, because I definitely do not want any bad repercussions from that, from a respect standpoint and from privacy standpoint and things like that. So the one that I was at, like I said, that one there, nobody was exposed or shown. I didn't show anything as far as any other devices or anything like that. So everything was kept respectful. I don't want to offend anyone out there and things like that. So that's why I didn't even necessarily say what exactly it was I was doing. So.
Christian Olivia has a weird question. How much is a 3-bedroom house with a large backyard to buy? Well, that depends on how fancy do you want it to be.
How much yard? I mean, I got 3.25 acres, so I mean, that ain't a whole lot. So, I mean, just depends on where you're living at. I mean, where we're at, it's low cost of living around here. So, $150,000 to $200,000 house will get you a decent house. I mean, some of these doctors' houses sometimes only go for $1 million, somewhere between $750,000 to $950,000. Whereas I'm seeing these places on the remodel shows that are going for that, and they're tearing the whole insides out, and they're a total dive. So depends on where you're at. I mean, that's why we don't have to charge $300 an hour and stuff. I mean, our cost of living is lower here, and so it just really depends on where you're at.
Oh, I can't help but giggle every time I'm going to giggle.
Well, miss, I did the F-bomb in the beginning. I done lost my freaking stuff there. Of course, it's kind of funny how their rules are, because it says if you do it within a certain amount of time frame, and whether or not you do it in the first 30 seconds of the thing, blah, 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 blah. So, whatever.
So Winston was saying that in SoCal, it's $450 minimum for 3 bedrooms.
We're talking monthly payment or $450,000?
Like $450,000 like minimum, I think.
Yeah. It'd be neat, the weather and stuff, but it sounds like since they cover almost half the continent there from one side to the other, from the northern to the southern. So you got like normal weather like we'd have, to the hot crap that Chris deals with that I wouldn't want to deal with. So, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there from what I hear. So.
Yeah, $450,000. And this is funny, but JD said his friend installed a Mr. Cool. It comes with predetermined charge and line set. So he had to wrap the extra lines around the rear bracket twice. So there's that, LOL.
Nothing like
That's
a oil
hilarious.
trap. Hopefully he did those horizontally. That way they don't trap oil. So
just, wind them up.
I mean, those things have so many thermistors on them, and holy mackerel, you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Twisted Candle. Hey, he made some comments earlier. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
That's really nice.
Starting to get and remember, because I'm usually horrible with names. I mean, they can come up and say, hey, my name's Bill and my name's Chuck. And I'd be like, I don't need their name. I can talk to them without having their name. And I usually I can't remember it usually. But I did a search and I was like, oh, yeah, I've spoken with him before. Cool. So it's kind of cool, guys. I do appreciate you coming in here and hanging out with us and stuff, which is really awesome, because I just like spending time. I like spending time with everybody out there. No, it's just fun to kind of talk about the videos and kind of just hang out and stuff. So even if we don't have anything in particular, I mean, I'll answer anything I can answer. I definitely don't know everything. And I had one comment. It kind of bothered me, because I try not to be like this.
He's still triggered about this, guys.
It bothers me. I got told it was a great video and he liked it, but then he said, got to watch my attitude. An ego of yours is going to get you in trouble. And I'm thinking, you don't know how many times I've been told about attitude all through junior high.
Your entire life.
Yeah, it's horrible.
You're one big hemorrhoid.
It's horrible. It partially kind of made me think, what the heck did I do? Am I doing that? I don't mean to do that. And, and I'm like, well, was it because of the way I edited it? Because he hadn't responded back to say what exactly it was that I did that it was kind of a weird compliment. It's kind of like saying, you're really pretty, but you're kind of ugly when you look this direction. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it, I don't have an attitude. I mean, there's times where you don't like your job. I mean, you don't like what you're doing. So, I mean, I don't know if that was the case. I mean, I was actually kind of happy. If you noticed, I was pulling jokes everywhere on Saturday. I'm not like that normally through the week.
Look at that. We got a Trump HVAC.
Trump this.
That's awesome. Please don't forget to vote this Tuesday. I agree.
Yep.
So
Definitely got to vote.
So Christian was asking, he said that he makes $75 as a refrigeration tech in California and how much he could make in our state.
I'm assuming you're saying 75 an hour.
Yeah.
So you ain't gonna make that. I mean, we don't even charge $75 an hour. So, but we pay really, really well. And this is the best place I've ever worked at for pay. Now, granted, you know, I've been here for almost 6 years, so I don't know what's changed because it sounds like things have gotten a lot different just because, you know, times they can't find nobody. Supply and demand went up. So, but, you know, do you want to make big money, you know, $200,000, $300,000 a year and then have to pay out majority of that in taxes and your house costs 10 times as much? I mean, you go into a higher tax bracket, or would you rather make just a modest amount in between there and everything's more affordable and you're in a lower tax bracket? I mean, they get you coming and going, but.
Okay. So,
Ohio, you're somewhere, mid 20 to, you know, around 40, 42 probably, somewhere in that ballpark. Just depends on what you're working on, what you're doing.
and what part of the state you're in?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
So we got a question here. What are refrigeration reducing T measures? That was a question on my test. If you could point me in the right direction, it'll be great. Thank you.
What about a refrigeration tea?
What are refrigeration reducing T measures?
I'm assuming you're talking like, say you come in with a straight T where it's 1/2 inch coming in one side and 3/8 off the straight end and 3/8 maybe off the other end, or, you know, 'cause sometimes they'll be coming in because generally you want to hit it into the T and then split like that. But I've seen them go long ways and then one comes in at the side and then, you know, it's just like airflow. I mean, you don't pull off the top of the trunk line, you know, or off the end of the trunk line because it's going to starve everything. It's similar to that from what I've been told, and I'm no engineer. But that's, you know, some of the things I think it goes along the same with the refrigerant. You know, you kind of want to try and make it so it splits evenly. So you kind of want to make it equal the same way. As far as I know, I'm not an engineer on that stuff. I don't know. I just know how to make this stuff run usually, except for when I miss freaking shorting wires in the fan.
Let's see what else we got. And a lot of people understand. They say that they get Huseman gets that a lot in real life too.
Which part?
About having an attitude. And Detecting Arizona said it's just how your voice is. He said I have a good friend that has the same thing, and just keep doing you.
Yeah, I am who I am. I mean, if I didn't care about people, I'd stick it to them. I'd be all about myself and screw everybody else, and I'll make as much as I can, and I'm not sharing anything with anybody. I'm not saying I know a crap load, but I think I've expressed it before that I go through some major struggles when I have to try to learn new things, like the supermarkets and stuff. I mean, it's difficult, and I know the pain. Honestly, a lot of it was focusing on for the new guys, but I mean, obviously not everybody's new that watches, and you know, some people are just curious, things like that. So, but yeah, my personality and my attitude and stuff, it takes sometimes 2 years, 3 years to really get to know me. Just because even though I might be abrasive or I may run you down here and there, but generally, if you have problems, I'll be there for you and help you. So, I mean...
Fun fact. I didn't like Rick when I first met him.
Yeah, we went out and
I thought he was a jerk.
And she was I took her to Red Lobster and she got chicken fingers.
I didn't know I liked shrimp yet.
Then told me things about her old boyfriends.
Oh,
so,
stop.
Yeah.
You probably asked.
I did. She was dumb enough to tell me. So, yeah.
Don't ask.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's just one of them things. 20 hours of Resi Tech, don't know Jack yet. That's crazy because, I mean, before I came to where I'm at, I was at 23. So, and I was tied in there with the state certified plumber. So that was 6 years ago, and that was a small residential shop. I mean, you know, we did probably about we just hit $4 million. I don't know what we do at my company now, but I know just our plumbing company alone has done that. So, yeah, I mean, I thought I was great at that. I mean, coming from, you know, not that horribly long ago, I was somewhere in the, what was it? 18, 19 range. So, I mean, it was a jump to the one. And I stayed for almost 8 years that last time. And I worked for these people for a good majority of all my years, off and on. They bought different companies, things like that. So money's not everything, guys. I mean, it definitely helps. And I know not everyone has a good employer that makes the work environment good. A lot of it, I mean, if you can find a place you really like, that you can make good money, that they take good care of you, they appreciate you, you've got people for support that when you need help, that everyone helps each other out before they go home, not everybody's a bunch of backstabbers trying to nail you. That right there, because I go under the motto that if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I mean that wholeheartedly. For me, when I go to work, and when I get upset about what I'm doing or say I'm bored or I hate it, it's because I'm doing a PM and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, I'm complaining that I have to clean out this unit and brush it off, no thinking or anything really involved, and I'm whining about that. So if that's the worst I've got to do, I think I've got it pretty well made. So there's those times where things are more difficult and things, and then you whine because you got stuck. So, sometimes you just get no matter what.
JD has a pro tip for you. He said, never ask about the exes you probably don't want to know. I'm an open book. You ask me, I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to lie.
Well, now the new one is I don't remember.
But no, I legit don't.
Yeah.
I've got brain issues.
Yeah, we won't go into all the things that, the weight loss and things like that. Yeah.
It's chilly.
I guess they need to be careful what they ask for or what they complain about. Now they complain about the other way. So, whatever. Money's nothing. If you hate the place you work at, just quit the job. That was there 16
Grandpa.
years. Holy crap, dude. I could not stay somewhere I hate for 16 years. The longest I ever worked anywhere is 8 years. And, but granted, I worked for him for 3 years, came back, worked for 2 years, came back, worked for, I think it was 8 years at one time. So it, I always left in good terms, and that's the biggest thing. I was always trying to better myself, and from what I hear, that's okay as long as you leave on the right terms. If I would have stayed where I was at, I would have been doing residential nonstop. And, each place I went to, I learned a little bit more and a little bit more. And, the stuff I'm working on here, granted, you see some of the boring stuff I do, the reaching coolers, things like that. I'm getting bored of them, but, I like that better than some of the other things that I used to do. So, it is work. It's not going to be perfect, but, I like doing what I do. I keep telling myself that. So got to believe it. What else we got going on out there? Yeah, why did you wait 16 years? HVAC 01453 says to Nate.
Oh, so this is funny. Shannon's got a dad joke. I like to call up to a random restaurant and ask, do you have chicken fingers? When they say yes, I say, put gloves on and no one will see them.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
That's a pretty bad dad joke there.
Yeah.
But you always have really good dad jokes, I feel like. Man, I'm getting like my migraine.
It gets confused. Watch when I bring that up there.
It's trying to blur it out.
It's trying to focus on something.
It's trying to self-moderate you.
I think it's getting confused on your eyeballs there with your glasses or something.
Detecting Arizona says, he can charge a unit and get a good split, but identifying a TXV issue or clogged coil sucks. Would you like to elaborate on either one of those? Give him some tips and tricks on how he can do that? JD, really? You don't need to do that again. That's like your third time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Splits some of it, but it depends on whether it's mismatched. You ever... Okay, for example, where I used to be at before, we were notorious for trying to be the cheapest. And so we would sit there and put a higher efficiency SEER unit on a older efficiency SEER unit. So we put maybe a 12 or 13 SEER on an 8. Boy, that don't work real well. You can't...
about that math just doesn't...
Well,
compute.
you wouldn't, unless you really dig into it. And I wasn't digging into it back then. I didn't understand why. I mean, it's like, wait a minute, it's 2-ton. It's 2-ton. Why are they not playing well together? Why is my head pressure got to be pushed so high before I can get halfway decent subcooling or superheat or whatever method I had to use? You know, it was dumb stuff like that I ran into. But I mean, if you got super high subcooling, I would think, you know, you've got maybe a restriction. If you're superheat, I mean, if you got a TXV, did he say it was on a TXV? What was it?
No, he said that he identifying a TXV issue or clogged coil sucks.
I don't know. I guess it depends on what you're in. Because, I mean, if you got, I mean, it's for me, just kind of, usually if it's a clogged coil, your temperature drop is going to be way colder than it should be. Your superheat's probably going to be low, depending on whether it's a fixed orifice or a TXV. I mean, there's so many things there. It's variable. A lot of times I base it off of what my head pressure is over ambient. I mean, and it also depends. Are we talking residential? Are we talking about commercial? Are we talking about refrigeration? Are we talking about reaching coolers? I mean, who knows? Yeah. It comes with practice, man. Nobody learns it overnight. It depends on how often you're doing it over and over. I mean, if you want to see attitude, you ought to see a couple of the residential videos I made.
And he does residential.
I walked in there, and I mean, to me, this, you want to hear conceited? There's no challenge to residential generally. So I get bored with it. I walk in there, and that's not even our brand. The freaking pressure switch hose is off. Why? You know, it's the same thing every time. Clean the flame sensor, check the heat exchanger, blow out the condensate trap, you know, check your temp rise. If those things are fine, great, quit there. If not, now let's check the gas pressure, blah, blah, blah. Make sure the exhaust stack ain't plugged. Make sure the air intake ain't plugged. Make sure the filter's not plugged. Make sure all the registers are open. Make sure there's enough adequate return. Move on. I mean, it's just the same crap over and over because usually somebody half-assed it and threw it together, and usually it's what I run into. So, you know, there's attitude for you. But, you know, I try not to go there. Next.
What about a clogged coil?
Clogged coil, what about it?
Like, how do you diagnose that?
I would say it's going to be, well, I'm going to look at my pressures and my temperatures and stuff. I'm going to look at my subcooling, superheat, all that crap. I mean, it's all going to come together.
Someone asked if you have any particularly, I've got a migraine, as you can tell, because I can't talk, interesting videos in the pipeline?
There's
Apparently
a bunch of them.
no.
There's a bunch of them that I just don't feel like, man, that one's not very good. That one's not very good. That one's not very good. That one's not long enough. This one's that, blah, blah, blah. I knew that this last one on Saturday, I thought was going to be pretty good just because I had so many issues and I knew I had to go back. And, you know, that had been sitting there from Saturday. I could have probably cranked it out quicker. But, you know, I even said in the video, I have a bad feeling this stupid thing's going to bite me in the hiney because that's why I kept looking everywhere. I've had it happen before. And, you know, one of the things with us, we're good commission based. We don't try to sell people new stuff and all that other crap. Our commission based is, hey, I'll give you this amount of money. You go fix the job. And it's a little more than what we'll pay you for hourly. But here's the catch. If you don't fix it right, you go back on your own time and you don't get paid for it. So even though I ate about an hour and a half, 2 hours on that call and I didn't get paid for it, you know, there's several other perks that go along with it as far as like our drive time that we get paid for, double up time they call it, because we bill from the time we leave the shop till we get back. So if I'm over across town or whatever, there's 15 minutes there, an extra 30 minutes there. You can get a couple extra hours every day. So that makes to offset not getting paid for it. So that's only one downside.
Alexander said he liked that video. He said it happens.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it could have been worse. I could have just went in there and it's like, oh yeah, it's a fuse, throw it in there, unhook a few things and get on down the road. Because I mean, I had 3 calls the night on Friday night, and then I had 2 more after that one. One was no heat, and it was something that we had looked at earlier, and it ended up being a plug condensate. It was a residential unit inside of a freaking commercial building. It was a cheap beater furnace. I think it was probably a Goodman. Had one of these goofy freaking condensate deals that go on the exhaust, the draft motor. Here's a common one I always seen all the time on freaking Linux. The draft motor was slugged with water. What happens? It's usually because you got shavings in there because the installers didn't deburr it before they put it together, and the shavings all went down into the condensate trap and plugged it up so it doesn't drain right. Or they've got, in this case here, they had like a ring around the PVC and it catches the outsides of it and it's supposed to drain it out. Well, that was plugged solid. that ended up being blown out. And then I added an extra drain hose to the draft motor's backup just in case, and on down the road I went. The other one, I forget exactly what it was. But the night before, I had a weird one. It said, my chiller ain't working. I'm like, oh, great. Never been there before. Wonder what we're going to get into. Here I get there, and it's like a big old, probably 10-ton. It was like 2 air conditioners hooked together. And down below it, they had this little pan there, and they literally had a coil setting in the water, and that was their chiller, and it fed these plastic molding machines. I mean, it looked homemade. And come to find out, I mean, it was just ended up being an issue with the thermistor not in the right position to sense the water temperature. It was trying to hold something early, like 53 degrees, give or take, I think a 4 degree variance, just to keep the machine cooled. What's up, Adam?
Someone had a birthday.
Hey, which Steve is it?
It's Residential. Is his name?
Residential Basics?
Yeah.
There he is.
We have a little something special for you, Residential Basics.
Happy friggin' birthday.
From me to you.
Happy birthday. That was free.
Yep. Yep. So, happy birthday there. How old are you?
You don't have to share. It's okay.
It's all right. We know he's about 48, 49. So, we're all getting old. It happens. Even you young guys, you'll see. It's coming. You'll see it before you know it. You're going to be like, I've been doing this for 25, 35, 40 years. I remember I was your age, all mouthy and stuff. I heard all that stuff.
I think they liked our happy birthday.
Did they like it?
I think so.
Who said that?
Well, Alexander's laughing as you know what off.
Yeah, but he's over there in a nice warm climate. Unlike us, it's like practically snowing here.
See, Residential liked it. He said thanks.
56 ain't that old.
No.
You're only 11 years older than me. Alex is 40, so he's only 5 younger than me. So, yeah. Things happen.
And I'm how much younger than you? 8.
How do you know all of the other texts?
Wants to know if you worked with them or just through YouTube. YouTube.
Are you talking about the ones on here? If you're talking about the ones on here, just YouTube. Never got to meet them in my life. That's why I was really looking forward to the show. I was hoping to meet all these guys, but now I'm just going to have to show up the doorstep someday and just say, hey, remember me? I'm here to hang out. What's up? What you got to eat?
Which technically we did go all fan, and we had dinner with
Bill.
With the Curious Bill a couple weeks ago.
The Bill. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
He was ecstatic. You could just see the smirk from ear to ear.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, yeah, that's how you meet them. I mean, here's what I kind of noticed. I mean, if you really get into whoever it is you're watching, you kind of build this weird relationship with them, and it's kind of like you kind of feel like you know them because you watch what they do and how they do it and what they say and things like that. So, because I mean, myself personally, I'm nobody special. Nobody.
I got a question for you. Prep table coolers. Are they meant to be charged by coil temp or pressures or superheat, subcooling?
None of the above. They should be weighed in.
Answer.
They should be weighed in to the factory spec. If everything's right, you should be able to pull a vac on that thing, weigh it in exactly what they say, and it should work. And that's why a lot of times I go there and I'm like, okay, it's running really low suction. I have 5-pound suction or something. A lot of times, I mean, and everybody does this differently. The guys I work with, a lot of them will just go ahead and throw the weight scale in there and they'll weigh in 2-3 ounces and just kind of see what happens. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I get sometimes, they don't say it, but I know they're thinking it. Like, why are you doing that? And for me, I'd rather just pull the charge out and weigh it in.
He's a little extra.
I go extra on everything. I can't help it. It's the way I am. Like this freaking stupid shelf over here, it's got little marks in it now. Now I need to put some drywall mud on it and repaint it. And, it drives me nuts. I am very anal about the shit that I do. I want it done right. And, even if it's in a crappy house or if it's in a crappy business or whatever, I don't care. I want it to, it's the way I am about everything. It's the way I am about my tools. It's the way I am about my toys. It's the way I am about everything. So I try to do it the best I can every time. It's not me trying to be conceited or judgmental or anything like that. It's just I like things to be done right. And I take pride in it for that reason. I don't know. I'm not trying to be, a weirdo about it, but I'm a little weird about it. So, but yeah, the best way to do it, pull it out, weigh it in. Worst case scenario, if nobody's, if you just got it down to a couple pounds of pressure and then weighed it in, that works too. I mean, you don't necessarily have to pull a deep vacuum on it if it wasn't sucking into a vacuum to begin with. There's all kinds of things you can do that, aren't 100% perfect, but, the whole thing is to try to get it to where you think it should be at and then evaluate it. Is it a problem with the cap tube? So what I've run into, and you've noticed on some of the videos where I'm yanking the oil out, because I've been bit in the butt. I didn't get paid to go back, and I actually went back on my own time to change the capillary tube again, and then it went out again. The capillary tube plugged up a third time. This time I said, I've already lost all profits. Send somebody else out. They can get paid from the company.
Can you put a filter dryer in that to help catch the plugs?
I put a Cap T32 dryer from Sporland in there, and it didn't do crap. It didn't matter. And then on the second time, I put a Cap 52 T in there, and it didn't catch crap. It went right through it, and it plugged it up. And I've cut those dryers apart. I don't see anything super special in there. There's some other brands out there that I've seen on the videos, and maybe they're fake, but they have a lot more filtering in them than what I've noticed. And it wouldn't matter anyway. That oil has to get through that dryer. And so if it's got contaminants in it of some sorts, and the waxes and things like that are starting to break down separately, that compressor's been real super hot, I want to dump that oil. It's cheap. I mean, $20, $30 for the oil, and put new oil in it. And I haven't had to go back to any of these. I mean, there's several different calls that I've got where, I wasn't sure if it was going to fix it or not, but then I go back a year later and found out that they never had any problems after that. Those are some of the videos I want to show. There's some where, I had a walk-in cooler that was froze up and everything kind of checked out fine, but I just kind of, after doing all the cleaning and stuff, I decided, that clock seems like it turns a little hard. It worked fine. Changed the clock, no problem since. Came back, all the coils are perfectly clear. So those are some of the things where those are the things you're going to build up as a new guy, that you're going to learn from your experiences, what worked in the past, what didn't work in the past. And getting the call back on the compressor because the capillary tube plugged up, that's something I learned from, and those are the things that's gonna make you better, especially when you do it over and over and over again. That's how you're gonna get good at things.
Are you thirsty? I just can't hold a straight face on that one.
It doesn't like that, man. You pull that up there, and it's almost like, because it gets in front of your eyes. It's when your eyes are, they don't like that. As soon as it loses my eyes, it gets confused. I don't know. Whatever.
Do you need some more beverage?
No, I'm just gonna eat the water bottle here next. So, but yeah, we got any other confusions or anything like that out there? Yeah, Jim Neto in the supply house. I started talking to him like I knew him. Yeah, it is weird, man, because I watched his videos and felt like I knew him. Looked at me like I was crazy. Honestly, I'd probably feel the same way, but to me, it's really, I guess the right word would be humbling. Because, I mean, if somebody actually likes me after watching me work, and that's cool, because nobody likes me any other time. So it works out great. I did run into one of the guys that I used to work at my last place, and he said he subscribed to me, and I found that was kind of cool. Him and his dad used to do our generators and stuff. They were electricians, and that was kind of neat to hear that. So, I mean, plus where I live at is not the town I work in most of the time anymore. I work outside of my town that I actually live in. It's 15, 20 minutes the other direction, but, I don't even see these places that I used to work at very often anymore, because that's not the area we really cover. Our other branch covers that stuff. So depending on whether I'm running residential or commercial, I don't really see these areas. I don't get to go into the supply houses anymore like I used to. So it's just one of them things. You getting comfy there? Yeah. All right, cool. But yeah, that's one of the reasons why I do some of these videos and stuff, man.
JD now just finally noticed the cup.
Yeah, there you go.
Adam wants can you model the cup for Adam?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, she's got water in it again. So now she's going to make it. So the cup says, "Have a great day." So, okay.
Wait for it.
I can't go no further than that, so.
I filled it too
Spill it all
full.
over. So hopefully you got that.
JD said sell that cup as merch.
Yeah, I know. I wish I
I
could.
probably could cricket that.
Yeah, I got demonetized for the bad thing I said earlier. I get upset when things don't work very well.
Weaver, I would like you better if you would stop flipping me off. Weaver, I don't think you were here last week when it totally crashed and burned.
Everything sucked, and I was like, you know what? I don't deserve a thumbs up. I deserve the finger. And then everyone started giving me the finger, and I was happy about it. It just was not.
Yeah,
and it's the same crap again this week. I need to do a. Me and Adam and Chris all need to get together and do it offline, so to speak. And that way we can test it, because I really hate when that crap happens and it's something stupid. And what's bad is I'm letting her figure out all this stuff, because I got so much stress and things going on through the week that, I don't care anymore like I used to. I used to be a tech guru, and do the networking and all kinds of other crap. And it's like, I just don't want to learn it. And so I let her do it. And then I lost control of what's going on here. And I'm sure it's something stupid that I would catch, because I've done, the channel forwarding and stuff on Digital Mixer and things like that. And that can get confusing depending on how you're, forwarding it from one thing to the other. And I would probably see that. So what's that?
I said, thanks, detecting. He gave us 3 number ones.
Sweetness. That's kind of like this.
I wonder if there would be a way, it would be funny.
Yeah.
Too bad instead of, I could also have on, besides like how many people are watching the stream at one point in time, if how many like middle fingers we got. I wish there was a way to count that emoji.
I'm going to respond to my guy here. It says, great video, very helpful. He gave me 4 thumbs. That's pretty cool. Mauer?
Oh, hey.
Kalali.
One of the guys asked, if that compressor dies from the walk-in freezer in your last video, will you film cutting it open?
Sure, why not? I'm a little bit worried for him, because I thought the compressor may have taken a dump there, and I thought, man, I'm gonna have to call the supply house, get one of them to open up, change that compressor. And that compressor, I'm gonna guess, probably gonna be at least $1,500, $1,800 to change out, and that's money they could have put into a new unit. And I hate seeing them do that, because I know the guy's pretty good. They're good people. And I hate seeing them, waste their money on something.
Adam, prize giveaway. Have to give a middle finger to qualify.
Yeah.
No, he's baiting the chat. Now everybody's going to be flipping us off.
Wonderful. I don't care.
Thanks, Adam. That's so sweet of you.
You want to feel humbled when the freaking thing starts off like a total dive like it did earlier, man, and you guys are still here. I mean, that's what's awesome. I feel safe here.
Oh, you feel safe.
I feel safe.
And warm and fuzzy.
Why do you think I only advertise my videos in certain places like HVAC Overtime? And
Because that's where it flies, obviously.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's my boy.
Ike gave it to Adam.
There we go.
Nice.
They
I
like
that too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and that's the thing. I think everybody here is the same people that are probably over there at the Overtime show. Check them out on Friday nights. You guys, it's 9:30? 9:30 Eastern, is that correct? Yep.
9:05.
If you guys are watching me, you're probably watching them.
JD said, have a good night, you two. Off to go program something after hours. What?
That sucks.
And he said, until next time. Middle finger.
Until next time. You do.
Thank you guys for the middle fingers.
I've been getting a lot of these freaking little Chinese girls here saying I'm single.
I'm single.
What are they really hoping to accomplish?
Alaska, I got my hair cut. What did I miss?
Let's see here. What I usually do to this.
Oh, hey. Chris just said that Ike can help us with our computer issue.
I've got fanatics that do networking and all that, but this is a weirdo issue.
This is with Streamlabs is what he's talking about.
Who?
So Ike, apparently you're the Streamlabs OBS guru. You can help us out. Oh, and then Adam said, don't trust Ike. He's a hacker. Oh, I there's some tea going on.
Yeah, he'll probably put a freaking virus
hacker.
in there and crash my stuff. That'd be great. That'd be great. Now
That's
I need
funny.
to sit down with those guys and go over some of the different things. So, I mean, unfortunately, I don't like it when it does what it did to me. I mean, I would never let that happen like at one of my regular events or something I was doing. Look at this crap. The screenshot is you walking to the table. That's a horrible screenshot.
Yeah, it is.
That is horrible. We're live, though.
Oh, well. What are you doing? Get off your phone. People
Just
are
kind
here.
of curious.
People are here to see you, and you're being rude when you're on your phone.
I'm watching myself and them.
You're so conceited. You don't watch yourself.
I want to make sure it was working. How do you...
Yeah, whatever. Keep
What,
coming up
what,
with
what
more
else?
lies.
What else do we got
More
going on here?
lies,
I'm conceited. What can
more
I say?
lies.
We can do it one night this week. Yeah, man, that'd be great. We can make it work. Yeah, dude, I have nothing going on through the week after work. I am a total loser. Yeah, I like HVAC. I can help you. Help me. Who's that HVAC video guy?
I don't know. Some pervert
Yeah,
that likes pineapple parties.
Is that guy?
Yeah, that's the pineapple party guy.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I like pineapple on my pizza though.
Oh, now you're gonna break the internet.
It is what it is, man. It's a good topping. It is what it is. So I think things are winding down. People are getting tired because they're not saying nothing. Virtual standstill. Where are you at there? Detecting Arizona? Probably Arizona.
Probably Arizona. And I don't know what you guys are doing, like how it's all been in wherever states you guys live in. But this past week,
Oh, we've been around COVID people all freaking week.
has like, it's stupid. It's gotten so stupid crazy. Like the state of Ohio has had like
3,500, wasn't it?
They had a little over 3,500 new cases just in a 24-hour period, which was like a new record for
I think
us.
they're trying to keep people from going to the voting polls.
Yeah, I don't know. But like I myself just in the last week's time have been exposed to 4 different people that later tested positive. So I don't know. It worries me to some extent just because I don't want to be sick and have to miss work.
Two of the people that have it, which the one is a year older than me, and he has little to no signs and basically no real fever. Doesn't feel really much different at all. Has a little bit of a cough. And the other one is her age, I believe. And he don't have much of anything. The whole family probably has it. And they are just fine. So, I mean, yeah, if you're totally screwed. And we had, I had one friend that basically even had heart issues and stuff. And he got it. And all he lost was smell and taste. So.
It's really weird.
Yeah.
And people love both the pineapple on pizza and like Twisted Candle Company does not. It makes them nauseous, which I don't even like pineapple, period.
You gotta have somebody that knows how to do it right though. If you put it on there too juicy, it'll screw the dough up and it won't rise properly. So you gotta squeeze it out pretty good. I like Domino's, believe it or not. Cheap old Domino's. That's some good stuff. And Papa John's. Those are probably two of my more favorite ones if it ain't a local one.
Yeah, and Chris, he made comments about be very careful when you combine the word pineapple and inappropriate internet searches. I cannot believe this stuff that comes up.
Pineapples are pretty rough. I don't know if I'd want to. Yeah,
now the internet's like, well, why are you doing that, Chris? How'd you find that out?
That's when you start advertising for that hidden IP thing or something.
Oh, yeah. You need
this video is brought to you by Hidden IP.
Chris, you could probably get sponsored by them because you're big enough. You could probably, who does that?
I forget who
there's
had
a couple different people that always have the same VIP, not VIP. Oh, jeez Louise, I need to go to bed. Barbecue pineapple. How do you feel about that?
There's some weird stuff out there. It ain't too bad. It just depends.
Yes, Adam, thank you, VPN.
VPN, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you could probably, the VPN people.
What did I say, VIP?
I said VIP because I'm an idiot. But yeah, you could probably, NordVPN, they sponsor a lot of YouTubers.
Yeah, but there's another one out there you can do on your phone and your regular computer and all that crap, and it's like $10, $12 a month.
So you should look into that.
I ain't looking
And-
at things I shouldn't be looking at.
Yes. Well, no, there's a NordVPN, and yeah, he does a lot of them, but there's someone else.
The thing is, the information has to get back to your computer somehow. So at some point in that freaking encoded crap, it has to know where it's got to go to. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the information back. So, I doubt it's if someone's trying to intercept it in between. But
So
whatever.
someone asked, have you had to work on those screwy Daikin minis? Just to evacuate the unit, you have to push several buttons in a particular order, then another 121 times.
No.
Do you have to do the hokey pokey too?
No. I don't do much. We don't have much Daikin around here or anything like that. Around here for that sort of thing, Mitsubishi's a big one. You'll see every now and again some Sanyo, maybe every now and again a Fujitsu. They all look the freaking same, and they all work fairly the same. But I sometimes have to call and get help on that. I mean, I technically have gone through Mitsubishi's City Multi-Class. I've got the little box for my computer, which I don't even know if I got the program on my computer. I've worked on one, maybe two. That's it. And I don't hardly remember anything. I don't even know where the freaking little gator clips hook up. I forget. I mean, it's been, a couple years. That's the problem. You go to these schools and you don't see it for a year or two. They're pretty reliable for the most part, but, generally if you don't go there, you don't see it. And it's the same thing with the chiller class. I mean, I've been through the carrier chiller thing twice. I've got the big, thick book.
I don't know who's
Where's
snoring.
it at? It's over there. Thing's freaking that thick. And it's all, it's got screws, it's got centrifugal, all that crap in there. And the screws aren't bad. And it really ain't a whole lot to it. And that was what I did. I on call Friday night, I had to go to this place that literally preserves food by taking water, putting the food in it looks like a freaking a bobsled, and you put it into this big chamber. It takes 65,000 pounds of pressure and crushes down on the food. What that does is basically destroys the bacteria growth that's inside there and crushes them. And it does that for like a couple minutes, and then it takes that pressure off of it, drains it away, and then it comes out, and they put it back in the package and send it out. I can't say the name of it, but basically it's technology. It's been around for a while, but basically they used a carrier chiller for it. I'm trying to think. Aqua Snap is what it was. And
Aqua
Snap is what it is. And luckily it was one of those goofy little controllers that usually have all the problems with the inner and toggle up and down. And, I guess maybe that's some of the things I could probably do for the younger guys and stuff is don't get too worried. Because I told her, I said, you know what, I'm less worried about this thing than I am some of the other ones I go on. Because there's times I'm going on these that I haven't really done much on. So you got to go in there and look at it with open eyes, and kind of sometimes you got to ask them, hey, what's it normally do? And just kind of look at the obvious. And sure enough, it was something stupid. It was freaking the circulator pumps weren't running because the power had gone out, and it tripped a breaker because it surged when it came back on, and it tripped it. Reset it, waited for it to all come back online, and everything worked fine. And,
Hey, I got a question.
What?
Detecting Arizona wants to know, do you guys have wild leg York units? I didn't know they had a wild leg. And then he goes on to say that he has to work on a York commercial unit tomorrow, and apparently it has a wild leg.
The wild leg is probably the power coming in from the power company, which, generally that's a delta T versus a delta Y, or not delta T, a delta Y versus a Y delta. And I forget which one's which, but basically it ends up giving you to ground a leg that will be higher in power. So I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. And, you're fine leg to leg, but it's when you go to ground that it becomes an issue. So
This is funny. Laska says, oh, snap. It's Aqua Snap. That's
Yeah.
pretty funny.
So don't let it bother you much. I mean, most of your power is all going to be done off the two legs anyhow, and nothing to neutral. So not a humongo deal. It's not probably a York thing, far as I know, but I'm not much of a York guy. We don't. We got a few of them. There's a couple places that does a lot of testing that has a couple big York chillers, but I've only seen it. It has like ECM motor, or not ECM. Freak drives pretty much for everything on it, and I don't know much about it. That's where I'd call one of the guys that does.
Getting freaky.
Yep. So
Someone is snoring. I don't know which.
277. So yeah. Well, that's what 460, 480 is to ground generally. Unless that's what I'd be curious of. What is it leg to leg? So if it's 277, generally that's what it is to neutral for 480, 460. I've had people laugh at me because it's like, okay, 110 volt. Then some people call it 120.
You need to explain that one. He said that is how what happened to Adam's garage door happened.
Generally, you don't see that in residential too much.
Confused there. Wild Lake, wasn't that his easy top video? We should ask Curious. He would know.
We did have somebody not pay attention when they were working in a three-phase environment, because you usually see this more in a three-phase environment than you will anywhere. And the guy moved a breaker around, and it was a single-phase breaker, and he wasn't paying attention. And so, to say the least, he fried that little reaching cooler. Your gate is on, so you're not going to be able to hear them doing it. So you're going to have to go over here, go into your microphone, go into audio processing. See, I know these things. Go into gate. There, it's off. Now they quit breathing. You killed the pugs. They quit breathing. He's having a bad dream down there. Uh-oh. Yeah, he may go into Vietnam flashbacks here in a minute and attack the dog beside him.
It happens.
Turn the gate back on. So, yeah. Yeah, and then he does it again there. So, whatever. So, yeah.
Whatever.
Well, are we running out of questions and show and tell here? Because, like I said, I don't know everything. I just
Someone asked if you've ever worked on
love
any
to talk.
screw machines. I don't know what a
Screw compressors.
Oh.
Yep.
I know Adam. He likes pugs, and they're snoring very heavily at the moment.
He's talking about Yamo likes pugs.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if Yama's watching or not.
Yeah. Yeah, screw chillers is probably what he's talking about. And yeah, those are a little easier than the centrifugal. I don't get to even come close to working on those. Screws I don't get to work on much either, but the centrifugal is only like a couple guys that really get to play with that, and that's like the head dog that's been there forever in a coon's age. However, he's wanting to like take it easy and cut back some, so maybe I'll get a chance to do more of those things and things like that. But generally, that comes with a lot of responsibility. What are you trying to do there? Huh? Why? What do you? That microphone ain't that long. I don't have a real long. Why are you doing that? I took all that time. I got that thing stretched in between there. You're completely unscrewing it. She's messing up the freaking microphone so you guys can hear this crap. This is ridiculous. Here, you gotta go. Let me go in here to the freaking processing and turn that off. This is ridiculous. You're gonna get them. They don't care. These are guys. They don't care about that crap. They don't care about this stuff. Hold on there before you get too close to them and interrupt them. I'm trying to get to the freaking channels. There's mic 2. There's audio processing. Boom, processing off there. Go do your thing. Hurry up. Just
keep talking.
Keep going.
Keep
going.
Keep talking.
Yep. We're talking about nothing. Go ahead and get right up their nostril hole there. Hurry up. Here we go. Really?
What do you have to say, Eli? What do you have to say for yourself? He's sniffing it.
He just blew his snot in it. So.
What do you have to say, Patsy?
All right. Come back here.
I tried.
Jeez Louise. So, see, that's what that thing gets rid of, all that nasty stuff.
Did you hear it?
I would hope so. He freaking blew his nose all over it. She's just sitting there like, why did you do that? You made a mess out of my mic. Yeah. Holy crap. Sounds like my wife, Adam. That's good. Oh, it's just me and all the guys hanging out here. Now we're going to check everything to ground before I flip it. The tenants have properly already been flipping the breaker since. Oh, that's nice. What the hell was that you just clicked? Was that a questionable comment?
Yes.
Oh, I don't remember putting it as a keyword that wasn't allowed. Interesting. Yeah, I hear you. Anything else for me, guys? Because I think I am like, it's 10 o'clock here on the east side. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. But I think that's probably about it. So, sorry about the slow start, guys. We're going to see if we can figure it out. They're on the record here. Adam and Chris are to say they're going to help us, people that are like illiterate and can't figure it out. So hopefully it'll work after that. I can't believe you screwed up my mic. I can't believe it. Should just have a wireless one setting here. Yeah. Yep. You don't have that in the right spot. You got to put it down here. Well, you got your little thingamajig there all finished, ready to go. If you guys would hit the thumb button, hit the finger. Got 65 likes. How many people we got still? Does it even say somewhere? 54 people. So we can squeeze a few more out of there. I got to go through there and cut the F word out because somebody pushed me into saying bad things. No problem, Grandpa. No problem at all, man. Good night, David.
We are being hired, so it's a sweatshop.
Oh, welcome to the sweatshop. What are you doing? She don't understand how it works any other time, but here we go. I think all you do is some sound drops, and it wasn't even the sound drops the way I wanted it.
Are you ready to say goodbye to everybody?
Yeah. Should I get energetic here real quick?
Yeah. Give them their money's worth.
Put on a show, song and a dance.
We did get
Dance
a lot.
monkey.
We did get a lot of super chats tonight, so you could at least like shake your jiggly bits.
What was you going to say?
Your jiggly. I was trying to say.
That is not what you about said.
I was trying
That can
to,
be backed up. Just hit that back arrow and back it right up.
I have a migraine. I can't talk. I was trying to say jiggly bits.
See, it's getting close for bedtime. That's when the migraines start. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, I appreciate everyone coming in here tonight, and I appreciate the talk and the time we spent together. It meant a lot to me. It really did.
More energy. That wasn't good enough. Ladies
and gentlemen, I appreciate everyone coming in here tonight. I thank you for coming in, spending the evening with us. You guys are awesome to hang out with, and I truly do mean that. And I really have a great time hanging out with you guys. This gives me and her a chance to bond because we don't try to talk to each other throughout the week usually. And so she looks forward to this thing. So his Jimmy Wiggler. Yeah, I watched that today.
That's pretty funny.
I was watching his interview. I was trying to close this out, but unfortunately. And he said he spent a crap load of money for them guys to produce that. And I'm sorry. It's like, I didn't want to say this, but I'm thinking if he spent that much money and being, those guys didn't even color correct their cameras before they did it. If you noticed, they walked out. The one was overexposed.
All right. Good night, all.
Yeah, whatever.
Turning him down.
Killing me.
You don't need to complain. It's not your money. It's not your money.
I'm just wondering if he
spend.
was being serious or not. I'm just wondering because I'm thinking he got ripped off, and that's just horrible because that's a brother in the HVAC field. So,
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, guys.
So, anyhow, guys, I appreciate y'all coming in here. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, as gay as that sounds, thank you for coming in here. I love hanging out with you guys and stuff. I'm sorry about the screwed up beginning and stuff, how everything went to heck in a handbasket. And so if you would smack the hand like button, whatever you want to call it, you guys know what to do is going to be the new motto from here on out. So until next time, people, we will catch you on the next one.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I want to see motion, movement. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay?
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
We're done. Finito. See the door, use it.
You're still here?
It's over. Go home. Go.